He thinks she's just another black woman he can intimidate, but Sandra's defiance and court fight left him in ruins. A quiet Texas highway stretches into the horizon, the summer sun blazing overhead. It's July 2015, and Sandra Bland, a 28-year-old black woman, is driving toward a new beginning, a job at her alma mater, Prairie View A&M. But a white state trooper, Brian Encinia, pulls her over, thinking she's just another black woman he can intimidate. What unfolds next is a tragedy that sparks a movement, ending with Encinia's career in ruins and Sandra's name etched into the fight for justice. This is a story of power, prejudice, and the unyielding strength of a woman who refused to be broken. Welcome once again to the channel, where we cover suspenseful stories about real-life scenarios that people may encounter every day, stories that keeps you on the edge of your seat. We also get you informed about the chilling true stories behind cold cases and unsolved mysteries. So if you haven't joined the family, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Let's dive in. The afternoon sun beats down on FM 1098 in Waller County, Texas, on July 10, 2015, the heat shimmering off the asphalt in waves. Sandra Bland grips the wheel of her silver Hyundai Azera, her mind buzzing with excitement. She's 28, a proud graduate of Prairie View A&M University, and she's just landed a data entry job at her alma mater, a fresh start after moving back from Illinois. Dressed in a black tank top and jeans, her hair pulled back, she's humming to a gospel tune, the melody a small comfort after hours on the road. She's almost there, just a few miles from campus, when red and blue lights flash in her rearview mirror. Her stomach tightens, not from fear but from a weary familiarity. She's a black woman in America. She knows how this can go. Sandra signals, easing her car onto the shoulder, the gravel crunching beneath her tires. She cuts the engine, takes a deep breath, and places both hands on the wheel, visible, deliberate. She's been taught this since she got her license. Don't give them a reason. A Texas State Trooper patrol car stops behind her, and the officer, Brian Encinia, 30, steps out. He's white, clean-cut, with a swagger that screams authority. His boots scuff the pavement as he approaches, one hand on his belt, the other holding a notepad. His mirrored sunglasses reflect the sun as he leans toward her window. "Good afternoon," he says, his voice flat, devoid of warmth. "You failed to signal a lane change, license and registration." Sandra's brow furrows. She's sure she signaled, but she nods, reaching for her documents. "I was getting out of your way so you could pass," she says, her tone steady but tinged with irritation. Encinia's eyes narrow. "You seem irritated," he snaps, his voice sharp. Sandra meets his gaze. "I am," she replies, unflinching. "I didn't expect to be stopped for this." The air shifts, a quiet tension crackling between them. Encinia doesn't like her confidence. Encinia steps back, his hand brushing the holster at his hip. "Step out of the car," he orders, no explanation, just command. Sandra's pulse quickens, but her face stays calm. "Why?" she asks, her voice low, measured. She knows her rights. Years of activism, of speaking out against injustice, have taught her to question. Encinia's jaw tightens. "I gave you a lawful order," he barks. "Get out, now." Sandra doesn't budge. "I don't have to step out," she says, her words deliberate. "You need a reason." The tension escalates, Encinia's hand moving to his taser. "I'm giving you a reason. Get out, or I'll light you up," he yells, his voice rising with anger. Sandra's breath catches, but she holds her ground for a moment longer. She's not resisting, but she's not cowering either. Finally, she opens the door, stepping onto the pavement, her sandals scuffing the dirt. "This is ridiculous," she mutters, loud enough for him to hear. Encinia grabs her arm, yanking her toward the side of the road, out of view of his dashcam. "You're under arrest," he snaps. Sandra pulls back, stunned. "For what?" "Failing to signal?" Encinia doesn't answer, just shoves her against the car, twisting her arms behind her back. The cuffs bite into Sandra's wrists as Encinia forces her to the ground, his knee pressing into her back. "Stop resisting!" he shouts, though her body is still, her voice the only thing fighting. "This is abuse!" she yells, her words echoing down the empty road. A passerby in a pickup slows down, filming on her phone. Sandra's voice carries raw and defiant. "You're a real man now, huh? Slamming a woman to the ground." Encinia hauls her up, dragging her to his patrol car. She's still talking, still calling him out, even as he shoves her into the back seat. "You're going to lose your job for this," she says, her voice a mix of fury and certainty. Encinia slams the door, his face flushed, sweat beading on his brow. He thinks he's in control, but that video, already spreading online, is about to change everything. Sandra's taken to Waller County Jail, booked on a charge of assaulting an officer, a charge she knows is fabricated. She sits in a cell, her wrists bruised, her mind racing. She makes her one phone call, leaving a voicemail for a friend. "I can't believe this. They're trying to pin this on me, but I'm not going down without a fight." 3 days pass. Sandra's family in Illinois scrambles to raise her $500 bail, but the jail's bureaucracy stalls them. On July 13, 2015, a guard finds Sandra in her cell, a trash bag looped around her neck, her body limp. The official report calls it suicide, but her family doesn't believe it. Sandra was vibrant, outspoken, a fighter. She'd been planning her future just days ago. Her sister Sharon Cooper gets the call and collapses, sobbing. "She wouldn't do this," Sharon whispers to their mother, Geneva Reed Veal. "She was too strong." The news spreads like wildfire. Protests erupt outside the jail, chants of "Say her name" ringing through the humid Texas air. The video of Sandra's arrest goes viral, racking up millions of views. On Twitter, now X, activists amplify her story with hashtag Justice for Sandra Bland. The footage is damning. Encinia's aggression, Sandra's defiance, the unnecessary escalation. Public outrage forces the Texas Department of Public Safety to place Encinia on desk duty. But for Sandra's family, that's not enough. They hire a lawyer, Canon Lambert, and file a wrongful death lawsuit against Encinia, the jail, and Waller County demanding justice. January 2016. The federal courthouse in Houston is packed as Sandra's wrongful death lawsuit goes to trial. Geneva sits in the front row, clutching a photo of Sandra, smiling, radiant, alive. Across the room, Brian Encinia sits with his legal team, his uniform replaced by a stiff suit, his eyes darting nervously. The judge, Melinda Harmon, calls the court to order. Canon Lambert stands, his voice steady but charged with emotion. "Sandra Bland was a 28-year-old black woman with a bright future," he says. "Trooper Encinia turned a minor traffic stop into a power trip, violating her rights and setting off a chain of events that led to her death." Encinia's lawyer, Robert McCabe, counters, "Trooper Encinia acted within protocol. Ms. Bland's death was a tragic but unrelated incident." Geneva grips the photo tighter, her knuckles whitening. She knows the truth, and she's here to make sure the world knows it too. Lambert calls the passerby who filmed the arrest. Emily Carter, a 45-year-old schoolteacher, takes the stand, her hands trembling. "Sandra wasn't resisting," she says, her voice cracking. "He threw her to the ground for no reason." The courtroom screen plays the viral video, Sandra's voice filling the room. "You're doing all this for a failure to signal?" Gasps ripple through the gallery as Encinia's knee presses into her back. Lambert presents dashcam footage, showing Encinia's aggression escalating the moment Sandra questions him. "This isn't protocol," Lambert says, turning to the jury. "This is prejudice." A forensic pathologist testifies about Sandra's death. The bruises on her wrists and back are consistent with excessive force. The jail's failure to monitor her violated basic standards of care. Encinia takes the stand, his voice flat. "She was non-compliant," he says, avoiding Geneva's gaze. Lambert dismantles him on cross-examination. "Your report says Ms. Bland assaulted you. Where's the evidence?" Encinia stammers, his face reddening. The jury's eyes narrow. He's losing them. On February 15, 2016, the jury returns. The foreman, a middle-aged black man, stands, his voice steady. "We find the defendants liable for the wrongful death of Sandra Bland," he says, the words echoing through the courtroom. Geneva sobs, her daughters wrapping their arms around her, tears streaming. The jury awards the family $1.9 million and recommends a criminal investigation into Encinia's actions. "His conduct shows a pattern of misconduct," the foreman reads, his voice firm. The gallery buzzes. Some gasp, others cheer. Encinia slumps in his chair, his face pale, hands gripping the table. Judge Harmon leans forward. "No one is above the law," she says, her voice sharp. "I expect the district attorney to take this recommendation seriously." Her gavel falls, sealing the verdict. 2 months later, a grand jury indicts Encinia for perjury. His false report doesn't match the footage. The Texas Department of Public Safety fires him in March 2016, banning him from law enforcement for life. At his perjury hearing, he takes a plea deal, a fine community service, and a permanent mark on his record. He leaves the courtroom a broken man, his career in ruins, his name tied to Sandra's death forever. Sandra's story doesn't end in that courtroom. Her death sparks a movement. Say Her Name becomes a rallying cry for Black women killed by police violence. In 2017, Texas passes the Sandra Bland Act, mandating independent investigations of jail deaths and better mental health screening for inmates. Geneva keeps fighting, speaking at rallies, her daughter's photo always in hand. Sandra's voice was silenced, she says, but her legacy speaks louder than ever. Encinia fades into obscurity, a cautionary tale of power abused. For Sandra's family, the fight continues. They push for a federal investigation into her death, unconvinced by the suicide ruling. In 2018, a cell phone video Sandra recorded during her arrest surfaces, showing Encinia's aggression. The family demands the case be reopened, but no new charges are filed. Still, they persist, knowing Sandra's fight is bigger than one courtroom victory. Sandra Bland's story is a testament to resilience. She stood up on that highway, refusing to be silenced, and her voice still echoes today. For Brian Encinia, her defiance was a reckoning, stripping away the badge he thought made him untouchable. For her family, it's a call to keep fighting. And for millions, it's a reminder that justice isn't given. It's demanded. If Sandra's story moves you, share it. If it angers you, speak out. Real change starts with us. Subscribe for more stories that demand justice, and let's keep saying her name, Sandra Bland.